Yo, what's up? This your boy Genuine, and when I hear the words "man up," it means to me take responsibility immediately. You know what I mean? And just be a man about the situation. Do what you have to do. Man up.
What's up, family? In studio in Atlanta, Georgia. It's my home, baby. With that dude, my friend, my confidant. He too knows where the bodies are buried. Dr. Alduan Tartt. What up, man?
What's going on, KD?
It's a lot, man. I thank you for being a part of this show, and I thank you for your friendship over the years, too, brother. I mean, you've given me some nuggets that I've been able to hold on to that made me a better husband, made me a better man, and so I want to say thank you.
Well, you know it's mutual, man. We need each other.
Now, let's jump right into this thing.
All right, let's do it.
Okay,
right.
So we don't really like to talk about it a lot, particularly dudes. Well, we might talk about it around ourselves, but the whole concept or the idea of cheating.
Okay.
Let me ask you this. Now, I know what you're going to say, but men who cheat, infidelity, most of the time, you think about them as numbskulls. You think about them as bad dudes. Can a good man cheat?
Absolutely. Absolutely a good man.
Break that one down, brother.
All right. I know. You start talking about him, wife is like, oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Yes, other good men can cheat. But when you think about it, it's so many different pathways to cheating. All right. So one, think about your relationship as a house. And anyone that's been in a relationship or a marriage for a while, realize that a house needs repairs. Things break down. Wow. All right. And so oftentimes when there's a breakdown or something doesn't click in your marriage or in your relationship, say there's a broken window. You look at it as a broken window.
Okay.
Okay. And when there's a broken window that's not fixed, there are a lot of men that when they have the opportunity will cheat. And what will happen is they'll look at it as, I don't want to ruin my house. All right? Oh. We just have a small little problem. Oh. Small little problem. Don't want to break down. I just fix the window and then this will go away. But what we know is that when you, let's see how to say this. All right. What we know is that when you do that, if you've ever been on the other side of cheating, a window is not a house.
So let me. Okay, can I be specific?
Yeah.
There was a time in which I cheated. I mean, and I was a chronic cheater. That's why I'm, on my last marriage. Not gonna say my second. Hey, babe, this is my last. This is it. And I felt like I was a good man, but I felt like my cheating was a result of something inside me, man, that I was trying to find an answer to. Now, I know that now, but I didn't know that then. But, it was, to me, a way to express myself that I couldn't express myself in other ways. Now, I know I'm getting in trouble when I say it, but I know you probably understand when I say it. Maybe I hope you do.
No, when you sit down and you talk to men and you get the whole story, you start to realize that we're not perfect beings, all right? So one of the things that we know...
But ain't that an excuse, though?
No, it's not. No,
it's not an excuse.
Okay, when you're talking to your wife, or if your wife is talking to you and she's done the cheating, it sounds like excuses. Right. But if you really want to, but you know what, all the huffing and puffing and fight, it doesn't take away the desire to do it.
Whoa.
It doesn't take it away. You just have shame, you just have remorse,
guilt.
But the desire to do it doesn't go anywhere unless you tap into what's really driving that desire, all right? And it's multiple pathways for people. Let's talk about a few of them, all right? Sometimes it's a revenge type thing. Okay. All right? It can be passive aggressive. All right. You feel like you're in a relationship, you're not being supported, and you try to get them to listen, and they don't listen, and the opportunity presents itself. All right. And then passive aggressively, there's a door that's open. And for most people, cheating doesn't happen. It's not overt. It's not like saying I'm gonna go cheat.
Right.
All right. What happens is there's an unmet need. Okay. It could be for validation. It could be for appreciation. It could be for attention.
Wow.
It could be for excitement. And it's there in the background. It's there, all right? And it's existing. And then when opportunity presents itself, it's something that you kind of experiment with, all right? So usually it starts with a compliment.
Right.
It may start with a text. It may start with a compliment, a conversation, a coffee. A coffee you don't necessarily, when your wife asks you, how was the day? You don't say, yeah, I had coffee. With a woman that listened to all my dreams and ambitions, uninterrupted, all right? And so you kind of have a blind spot.
Right.
And then it gets to a point where a boundary is crossed and then you cheat.
Okay.
All right? Another one is that oftentimes you see men cheat, if you want to be real about it, all
Okay.
right, when they are missing something. So you see a lot of men cheat when there's a midlife crisis.
Okay.
They are searching, or they are yearning for something more in life. And so there's a chase.
But women say this. Women say, I'm missing something too, but I didn't cheat. You kind of get it, right?
Well, you know what, Katie? You know what the latest research shows is that women cheat at the same rate as men now. They cheat at the same rate, okay? So one, it's all about opportunity. Here's the thing. Part of this is temptation. The more temptation you have, the more willpower you have to have. And if you don't have enough willpower to match the temptation, you're in trouble. And so we see this with men two directions. One, we see it with men when they get a promotion, all right? So life is going well. They are up. They feel good about themselves. And so now a different type of woman is attracted to them. Before they go and no one's paying attention to them, but now you have a hit song, now you're head of the company, now you're traveling more, now you have this position of power, and women are attracted to power.
Okay.
All right, same man, same marriage, now more temptation, all right? That's what we know with a lot of NFL, NBA, athletes, entertainers. The character was always where it needed to be, but the temptation was higher than the character, okay? And the average man needs more character, more willpower when it comes to temptation. Now, same thing with women. What they found is that when opportunity, when there's travel, when there's stress, and when there's a bonding activity with kind of a work husband, all right, or a work brother, those things can happen.
So you said something a while ago I thought was very interesting, and it gave women that heard it, they made them feel, some type of way. Okay, you made the statement, and I'm gonna bring it to you. You know what I'm gonna say. Right. That men cheat down and not up. Break that down.
Okay. All right. So when we think about a relationship as a house,
okay.
All right, say the house has a broken window.
Right.
Okay. Men don't want to go out and get another house. All right. My wife is fine. Just the intimacy, or maybe there's some boredom, or we're not connecting. Or maybe it's just this girl and I can't get her out of my mind, or maybe something came up on Instagram, something captured me and it won't let me go. But I don't have any problems with my wife, all right? So let me just go and have a relationship or an affair, all right, and fix the window in the house, all right? So when that relationship breaks down, what we know is that 5% of people stay with the person they cheated with, all right? They don't ever go to the person that they cheated with. Why? Because a window does not replace a house. All right, and so when men cheat, they usually cheat for someone to look up to them. So sometimes in relationships it can get toxic to where you're complaining too much, or you're just simply not expressing appreciation. Katie, you're a man. I'm gonna put it out there. Every man I talk to in my office, they complain about feeling underappreciated.
Okay.
If I move the table, if I take trash out, I expect my wife to say, "I appreciate you taking trash out."
Yes.
It's raining out there.
What's wrong
There's
with
a thunderstorm. Yeah. Right? They feel like that's our job. That's what you're supposed to do.
I know we talked about this, but can I give this to you real quick? Like in my house, stop me if I'm going too deep and I can't recover from my crib. All right. So I noticed the difference between how my wife appreciates me, celebrates me, and how she appreciates and celebrates my son. Sometimes, if I can be honest, I feel some type of way about it. Because if she's tired, if she doesn't feel like it, some kind of way, the energy just, whoa, I'm gonna get it from somewhere because I've got to do this for him. Now for me, I know it's my son, I want him to have a great mom, she's the best mom in the world. However, I feel like, whoa, well, I got some needs too. And you told me you was tired and you said no, but you never tell him no. Help me and all the other brothers.
Well, what we know, this is the realism, is that just because we're men doesn't mean that we don't need attention and we don't need affection. Matter of fact, what we know, in order for the ego to feel good, for anyone, it's a 5-to-1 ratio. 5 positives for every negative. All right, you know this, like when it's a job.
5 positives.
5 positives. So I need to hear 5 things that are good about me before you give me a criticism. Whoa. Otherwise, a relationship doesn't feel good.
Wow.
All right, and so when men cheat, they tend to cheat down for a woman to look up to him. She's just glad you're there. Oh, you look handsome today. Is that a new shirt? Did you just shave? You look good. The appreciation is through the roof. She looks at you as a sexual being. She see you feel alive. There's an attraction there.
Yeah.
And so there are a lot of men that cheat because they're caught off guard. I'm not excusing it. I'm not condoning it. And as a man, And if we're cheated on, we hurt, devastated. There's no excuses to it. I'm just explaining it because I think the people need to understand what's underneath it, all right? And so if you have a relationship, especially where a man feels underappreciated, especially after having a child, that is the biggest window. First 12 months after having a child is a big window when a lot of infidelity happens.
Whoa.
And here's why. One, a lot of women are breastfeeding, all right? And so we know that lowers their libido. Two, time and attention is just not there, all right? She is focused on being the best mom that she can be. She is spread thin, especially if you have multiple children.
Right.
So guess where the need is? It's the husband. And the husband feels guilty. Well, you think you can stop breastfeeding, our son or daughter, and, we have talked to me, and
let me get in on this a little bit,
and the monitor goes off, and you go up in there, and you might even stay in the child's room to settle them down, breastfeed, and you fall asleep. And so we know is that 12 months, that men struggle that first 12 months.
Wow.
They struggle because they're getting the least amount of attention ever. So here's what I think we need to do.
Okay.
All right? And so first of all, as men, we have to be honest. I need attention.
Okay.
Since we being transparent. All right. So
Because I told my business.
all right. And so when they don't have sex, let's say it's day 8. All right. Day 9, day 10, they start becoming possessed. All right. And so I sat down. And
This is good.
I told my wife, I said, babe, I know you haven't been feeling well. I know we just had a baby and everything. But today I went to school and I was looking at this teacher up and down.
You said that?
I did.
Why did you say that?
Because, Katie, I was afraid of what would happen. I was afraid of what was going to happen.
You needed to put it out there.
It was getting stronger and stronger and stronger.
Okay.
I see the same teacher all the time. Oh, man, about day 9, I was like, wow, I'm getting. And I think as we get older and we get real with ourselves, know thyself,
That's good.
I think you have to start cutting off the roads. You have to start cutting off the roads to things that could potentially happen.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It makes perfect sense. Matter of fact, when I think about that, I think about something that I heard someone say. I think my mom told me, or my grandmother, somebody. She said to my mother, never let your man leave the house hungry. Because although it's something you like, you might like a steak dinner, but if you see another steak dinner, you ain't gonna want it if you're full.
Right. And for most
But
women,
if you're empty,
right,
you can see a Triscuit.
right.
And
I
be like all of a sudden.
I could feel what women are saying. Some women are saying, I take care of my man. He still went out there. And then I can also hear men saying, well, that's real. So here's what I think men should do.
Okay,
All right.
good.
Men should sit down and have a conversation about, listen, these are my needs. These are your needs. All right. And then a lot of times it's a bridge. There are a lot of women that do too much and they're tired. Sometimes it's men, all right? If you have the conversation about, listen, what can I do for you so that you feel like being with me, I will do that. I will drive the daughters to Girl Scout practice. I will wash dishes. If it means that you can be there intimately for me, if we need to date, if we need romance, I will do that, all right? So a lot of times it's a conversation. And so the worst thing that men can do is keep it private. All right, because I know a lot of men say, no way.
Private.
No way I would go home and tell my wife I was looking at another woman. No way I was going home. No way I would do that.
I'm one of them.
Yes, but that's the critical conversation that you have, because where does that desire go if you're not expressing it?
But what if she can't handle that, though? What if she can't handle the fact that, hey, you said, well, so am I not enough? She starts feeling some kind of way? I mean.
Well, women are grown, all right? And what's the first thing they say when you do cheat? Why do you tell me?
Yeah.
All right, and I can tell you from dealing with couples after infidelity, that's usually, since we're talking about men, where the man opens up.
Okay.
All right, you really want to get real about this? All right, I know we're on the Word Network, so I'm going to keep this PG.
Hey, keep it PG.
I'm going to keep PG, all right? But it's real, okay? So having a conversation with a guy, and he says, look, he said, listen, I'm having trouble with my wife, all right? I've cheated on her numerous times, all right? And I don't want to cheat anymore because this time, Katie, I'm sure she's going to leave me. I don't want to lose my marriage. I don't want to lose my kids. I don't want to do it. But I'd be lying to tell you that I'm not going to cheat again.
Whoa.
I just can't stop.
That's that real.
I can't stop. I can't stop. So it's like I'm sitting in my studio and I'm thinking about texting this woman, and at the same time I'm thinking about losing my marriage. And I'm stuck because I don't want to do it and I do want to do it at the same time.
What did you say to him?
So we broke down, I said, so what is the purpose of the other woman?
Okay.
All right. And he says, the way I was raised, my wife is pure. She is pristine. She is a lamb.
I know where you're
She's
going.
Lamb.
I know where you're going.
And some of the fantasies that I have, I don't want to tell her because I think she'd look at me like I was crazy, and I don't want to tarnish her. I don't want to tarnish her. All right? And so I told him, I said, go home and tell your wife why this other woman exists.
Okay.
He was like, are you nuts?
So she knew he had been cheating.
She knew. And she said, if you do it one more time, I'm out.
Oh, wow.
All right?
Okay.
And he knew. He knew that she was going to be gone this time.
Okay.
He knew, like, there's no talking my way out
So
of
he
this.
could talk to her and say, hey, this is where I've been, so I don't have to
See,
go
he
there
kept
again.
getting caught. He kept getting caught.
Okay.
All right. And he said, look, the chances of me getting caught, I don't know how she's finding out, but she's going to find out. So I told him, go home and tell her. So he went home and he told her. And she asked, like, what kind of fantasies are we talking about? All right. He came back in next week, says, Doc, I don't think I'll be coming back anymore. I said, what happened? He said, we had the best sex we ever had.
Wow.
Because she was bored in the relationship too.
Nobody was talking.
No one. Listen, we don't talk about sex as Christians. We don't talk about it. And what we know from the research is that our erotic fantasies change every 90 days.
What?
We get bored. We get bored doing the same thing over and over again, same ambiance, same bedroom. It gets boring. And so what we know is that when couples that talk every 90 days about, hey, what would you like to try? What's working for you? What's not working for me? Or what can we do? They have better sex lives. And as Christians, we don't like to talk about that.
Wow.
And that's why we have higher rates of infidelity in the church. Not because we have a character problem, but because we have a critical conversation problem. And so men, we have to open up. And let me tell you, women feel the same way. All right? Let me tell you something that's interesting. Men's libido drops when they hit late 35, 40. They have to actually take testosterone. They have to work out. They have to do things to naturally produce testosterone. Meanwhile, women's libido is going crazy 40. That's when you hear that cougar phenomenon.
Right.
All right, so the libido of a woman's here, man is here. So there are a lot of women that feel like, no, I want to have more. I want to have more. And the man is like, well, I'm good. I'm good. So that's another pathway for infidelity, to where they can't have that conversation about what's going on. So couples have to open up and they have to be honest about what's going on.
It's good stuff, man, to be able to have that conversation. That's what's up. In the studio with Dr. Alduan Tartt. Let me ask you this, man. We need, like you said, that affirmation or that appreciation. What is a man's, I guess, infatuation, so to speak, with cheerleaders? I mean, we need somebody to cheer us on. You spoke about it earlier. I need somebody to cheer me on. I mean, in football, we love the cheerleaders.
Right.
Basketball, we love the cheerleaders. Do women's sports have male cheerleaders? I mean, do they?
I don't know, but I think I know where you're going. You know, when
Yeah.
you start talking about a relationship, a woman being your rib, part of her being your rib is encouraging you. Because with men, if we're honest, when we let down our mask, we have self-doubt and insecurity. You can be 6'5", 280 pounds. You can be a pastor for 30 years and still have insecurities. All right? And so you need that woman to say, babe, I think you still have it. You know, I know church, they weren't really clapping for you. They seem to clap for the younger minister, and you're out there. Babe, I think you still have it. There's some things I would do differently. All right, but I think you still have it. I think if you do, men need that affirmation. We need confirmation. We need someone boosting us up to feel good about ourselves. And without it, we're less than a man.
I think the men's apprehension with that is like, I'm sitting here now, you know, man, I'm KD Bowe. I got a lot of great things going for me. But to say that I need something, in my mind, at times, it makes me feel like I'm coming down here. And I can't afford to come down here and let you know that the facade that you see, that I got it all together, it really ain't as ironclad as it is. So how do we get past ourselves and express vulnerability?
You know, he who findeth a wife findeth a good thing and gains favor with the Lord. All right, so what's that whole part about gaining favor?
Yeah.
I mean, what's that about? What do you mean a good thing? So let's be practical. Married men are happier, healthier, and wealthier, according to the research.
Okay.
They're happier because they have a best friend to share their life with. What we know about the research is that men want their wives to do activities with them. Watch the game with me. Come watch me speak. Come watch me play pool. Whatever your thing is, there's a certain piece that we actually want our wife or girlfriend to be a part of. We want a playmate.
Right.
So that happiness. And so when we're not getting that cheerleading, we're not getting that affirmation, we're not getting someone to say, you know what, I think that was, but I think, you know what I see? I see TV for you. I think you should own this place. You've been a mechanic for 30 years.
Wow.
You know just as much as the owner.
Wow.
All right. I think that you should just try it. I think you should just try to do something on the side. All right, see how it works and go for it. Baby, I think you can do it.
Wow.
And men that have wives and have women in their lives that are telling them that, they are stronger. They have more confidence because I believe in how you see me. You looking at me like I'm King Kong, but I don't feel like it. But that look that you're giving me makes me go out there and try it.
Wow.
And try it again. And so that's why you see, I think the world's greatest athletes, their wives. LeBron James' wife, Steph Curry's wife, Carmelo's wife. Think about all the stuff that Carmelo's going through in New York. You don't think he's going home and she's speaking life to him? All right, so we need that. All right, and then married men are healthier because wives nag us to go to the doctor. All right, and follow appointments. All right, and then we're wealthier because they tell us and they help us to make informed decisions and make more calculated but informed risks. So you can share the income, half on the rent, but also married men make better business decisions because they have a partner. Two are better than one.
Yeah, man.
To move forward.
Yeah.
And that is why you see a lot of heads of corporations, even in the NBA, they encourage their athletes to get married because they know that you need that helpmate. So listen, I'm supposed to follow you in business, but you don't have a family? I'm just keeping it real.
Whoa.
I'm not knocking anyone that's single. I'm not.
Yeah,
all right?
I feel you.
But when you start thinking about your comfort level and you think about a man that has to provide for his wife and kids, you start thinking about integrity. You start thinking about responsibility. You start thinking about this man has someone that's going to keep him in line.
Yeah.
That's going to help him with his willpower. So, we know that marriage benefits men and the wives do a lot for them.
It's good stuff, man. As always, man, you always bring a wealth of information. You need to be on the show like often because I got a billion questions. We didn't got time for it in this particular segment, but you need to be on the show more often. Would you be willing to come back?
Anytime. And can I add one thing? This is
Please,
my spirit. All
please.
right. Because I didn't tell men what to do.
Okay,
all right,
good.
all right. So a lot of men, since we're talking about men and cheating, sometimes everything's perfect in a marriage.
Okay.
Everything's perfect. There's not a problem, not a complaint in the world. Your wife is amazing. All right. But it's a willpower problem. All right. When temptation comes, you just can't resist.
Right.
You just can't. Now, no temptation, you're fine. But temptation comes, you have a problem. And so what we realize is that men can increase their willpower. So that means they're spending more time in prayer. They're working out more. They are doing things that are on a consistent basis. They're meditating. They're doing yoga, prayer. They are doing things to increase their willpower.
Yeah.
And so it means that, okay, you delay. This I have to be practical as I talk to men. Like, what do I do? She's texting me right now. I want to text her. And the more I go without texting her, the more I become consumed with texting her.
Wow.
So the first 5 minutes I was cool, but after about 15 minutes, I said, I don't care. I'm driving into this wall and I'm going to crash, but I'm still going to text her. All right? So delay. All right, so if you start out with 5 minutes, have to be practical, all right? Start out with 5 minutes, text her at 7 minutes, all right? Then the next day, 9 minutes. Next day, 11 minutes. Next day, 15 minutes. Eventually, it's going to go away.
Wow.
All right, because you are increasing your willpower and your ability to have self-discipline. We assume that men cheat because they're bad. But what we know is a lot of times when men talk, it's just a lack of self-discipline. If a woman didn't come in the room, they wouldn't go looking for her. But now that she's in the room, now that she's in his personal space, now that she's maybe in his inbox or whatever, it is hard for him to resist.
Yeah.
So one is limited access. All right. I'm a big limited access guy.
Right.
All right. Two, delay. Delay and build your willpower until it just kind of fades away.
Let me give you this, and one final thing that I want to share is that if you are a brother that you feel you find yourself being pulled in the wrong direction, probably one of the first places you need to look is your circle, because if you hang around 5 cheaters, chances are you're gonna be the 6th. See, successful people talk about successful things. Great people talk about great things. People pursued by or overwhelmed with purpose, they talk about purpose. So that's why I tell you, you've got to join the Man Up community, because it's a bunch of brothers that are going where you're growing. And so it's bash-free, it's judgment-free, but the truth is, we're all men and we understand. So manupcommunity.org, Dr. Alduan Tartt, I appreciate you for being here, man.
Anytime.
This dude is showing you how to man up. This season on Man Up with KD Bowe.
couple of years ago, man, I went through probably one of the biggest periods of my life with my marriage.
When you say challenge with your marriage, what do you mean?
Man, just not really showing up as a man. There was some infidelity. There were a lot of secrets, man.
You told her?
Hey, what up? This your boy Ricky Smiley, man, and you are watching Man Up with my boy KD Bowe. All right?
How do you know your husband? Do you think you're a good husband?
Yes, I am,
How do you know you're a good husband?
because of the responses I get from her.
Hey, that's pretty good, man. Okay, good. Okay, cool. So how do you know if you're a good boyfriend?
How do you know if you're a good boyfriend? You mean from her perspective or my perspective?
From your perspective, how do you know?
If I'm a good boyfriend, if I'm making her happy?
How do you know you're a good husband?
I got 26 years invested.
What does that mean?
26 years of being with the same person? Come on.
Man, listen, I know people that's been together for 40 years and ain't happy. How do you know you're a good husband?
I provide everything that she needs. I mean, if she wasn't happy, she'd have left a long time ago.
My dude, how do you know you married, right?
I am.
You're a good husband?
I hope to be, yeah.
How you know you're a good husband?
How she responds to me.
Hey, okay, that's good. How do you know when you found the right woman?
You know when you found the right woman, when you feel comfortable being around her in all of your various environments. So you don't feel like you don't want to bring her around certain situations. So I don't know, you feel like she's the right one when you just feel comfortable.
When you can like pass gas around her?
Yeah, all that.
When she can pass gas around you?
Sometimes.
The other times you just gotta hold it in.
Yeah. Or go in the other room.
So my man, you're married. Most guys struggle with the idea of, did I meet the right person, or is she the right one? You're married. How do you know she was the right one?
Well, when like I said, man, I was homeless when I first met my wife, and my wife asked me to
Homeless?
I was homeless, man. I was homeless when I first met my wife, and she asked me. Now I could have went back home with my family and all that good stuff, but that really wasn't my thing. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to really get out on my own and do what Donovan needs to do for himself. So my wife asked me to go to the store with her one day, and I said, sure, I don't mind. While we was walking, man, we had on a conversation that most couples would get on that topic later on in their marriage or later on in their relationship. But we hit on that conversation right there that first day, and I literally heard God's voice and said, "This is your wife," and I denied it because I thought it was my flesh. Wow. I thought it was my flesh. I'm like, nah, God, that ain't true. This is just me. So I went into prayer hard for her. I'm talking about real hard. I was praying and praying and praying. And literally, man, I said, God, if this isn't your will, let her leave me. But if it is, let it be so. Still 4 years to this day, we're still together. And I'm 24 years old now.
Let me say this. So for you guys that are listening to us right now and you're homeless, hey, you might come up. Move to Atlanta. And then for those of you women who are walking past that homeless dude, give him a couple of dollars.
Yeah.
You don't know.
You never know.
That might be your boo.
Exactly.
No, it ain't your boo. I'm just